Saska.
And I'm Sylvia Saska. And we're the Saska Sisters. And this is Indie Horror Junkie. Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
We're a panic attack.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie. Indie Horror Junkie.
It's the Indie Horror Junkie Podcast, your source for anything and everything indie horror. Here's your host, Otis B. Dreads. All right, it's 8 o'clock. You know what that means. Indie Horror Junkie Podcast time. See, I switched it up a little bit again this time.
No, I was waiting on it.
I know, right? It is 8 o'clock. Do you know where your Indie Horror Junkie is? We're right here. Welcome. Episode 36, I believe, is what we are on. This is crazy. Time has flown by, and I just want to say before we get into our housekeeping and get to our guests, Martigan, if you're not familiar with that name, you will be after this hour. I just want to say, yes, I don't mean to get, mushy and everything, but I am so grateful for the friends that I have here in Indie Horror Junkie, all the guests that we have on. I'm very appreciative, and I'm very happy to have all of you guys, you listeners, you dedicated junkies, and all, of course, as I said, all of our guests. So thank you for being my friend. I know that sounds all mushy, but I was kind of feeling it.
It's so sweet. I love it. And guess what? We feel the same way, baby.
Yeah, we do.
That's awesome. All right. So we have the new issue of the Indie Horror Junkie magazine, physical and digital copy. But, if you got the physical copy, that's way better than the digital, in my opinion. I'm a physical copy kind of guy. That's coming up in less than 2 weeks. May 13th is when that's coming out. What can we look forward to in that? Either one of you want to give a little tease for those who may have missed it, the teases we've been given?
Well, the magazine itself it's jam-packed, 44 pages of articles about all kinds of new movies coming up and celebrity guests that we've encountered. We've got our indie horror hottie, which is Christy Adams. And speaking of which, her new Nightmare Toys Now facility, Nightmare Toys shop is going to be hosting the Nightmare what am I talking about? Oh my God. The Indie Horror Junkie magazine. As of this new issue, number 9, it'll be in store there, and it'll be in store also at Viper Video in Tampa. So that gives us 2 brick and mortar places right now, and hopefully more by the time the next issue comes out.
That's awesome. And Nightmare Toys in Vegas. So if you're local to the Vegas area, get over there, grab you some cool horror merch, and on your way out, pick you up a copy of the new Indie Horror Junkie magazine. If I'm not mistaken, because I got pictures for days in this StreamYard, but I'm pretty sure.
Here we go.
That's our new issue right there.
Yeah, that's Kevin and Wendy, and we talked a little bit about them last episode, but they are Central Florida actors and special effects artists, and as you can see, they are very good at what they do. They are talented and sweet and lovely to work with, and we're happy to know them and get to work with them on different sets and projects, and we're honored to feature them on the cover. They deserve it. They work so hard, and
that makeup is so awesome. Mad Max type vibes, and I'm really digging it.
Yeah.
What else we got going on? Of course, we got the Indie Horror Film Fest, the second annual. I believe it's still early bird submissions. How long is it still early bird?
No, I believe now it's the regular submissions, the early birds,
Regular
which is the
submission.
first month or so. So now
Okay.
it's the regular submissions, but the submissions are rolling in. We've got about 11 judges right now that are going through them and looking at them. But the actual event comes up in February. It'll be at MegaCon Orlando, as usual. And we'll have 3, possibly 4 full days of horror films, panels, guests, and hoopla.
And hoopla.
Lots of hoopla.
Lots of hoopla.
Lots of hoopla and shenanigans and whatnot.
You gotta show up to find out. We're not.
Last year was a great turnout. We had really good location. A lot of people, as you've seen in the little video, the little clip that we played right before our intro. You can see all the fun, and you've seen our guest.
Yeah,
Martigan.
Seen our guest. Martigan was in there. So yes, if you have a short, if you got a feature, submit that stuff in. Trust me, it's going to get a lot of eyes on it, if nothing else. And I would think as a director, that's pretty good. You need a lot of eyes on your project. Speaking of which, today, was it March? I believe I went and filmed Helvira's Haunted Asylum of Horror. I was Dave the Stoner and Lord Zyklon 7. And that's all wrapped up there. Finishing funds started today on Indiegogo. So anything you can do if you can't help, as we always say, it's kind of the mantra of indie horror. If you can't help, at least share. Get it out. Share it out. I know things are tough everywhere, so the least you can do is maybe share it out. So
and speaking of Indiegogo, we have so many incredible filmmakers out here in the indie horror industry. Let us help you promote your project. We have people reaching out. We have our platforms on social media that we can help you promote. All you have to do is send us a message. We can give you a breakdown of the services that we offer. The magazine is blowing up.
Yes.
Like Rick said, we're in 2 brick and mortars. We're so thrilled to be with both of them. And the word is spreading. We're at conventions. We're definitely doing a good job of doing our job. So if you have a project, if you have a movie and you would like us to help you promote, that's what we're here for. Just send us a message on socials or indiehorrorjunkie@gmail.com. And we can get you all set up with the magazine, the podcast, social media, whatever way you want us to market you. We're happy to do it. And then once your film is done, send it on into the film festival so we can watch it and promote it again.
There you go, man. But it's an all-in-one. It's a one-stop shop for indie filmmakers. And I think that's absolutely awesome. We have, as I mentioned, Martigan is with us. As I also said, he is in the little intro video. He is the horror host of House of Dolls Midnight Horror Show. What is this, Otis? What is this House of Horror Dolls you speak of? Well, allow us to show you. We're going to have Martigan right after this.
Greetings, doll lovers and horror fans. I am Master Dolly, the Doll Master, inviting you to my house of dolls, where the dolls come alive and the horror begins.
Bam, what kind of intro? Where else can you get an intro like that? Welcome, Martigan. How are you, sir?
Greetings, doll lovers and horror fans. Great to
I
be
love
here.
the beat on that intro. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was great. Looks like you have. Let me give you center stage here. We were admiring your background, your setup there. This is pretty awesome. Yeah. There's a head just right there.
House of Dolls.
That is great, man. That is great. So tell everybody, if they didn't quite get the picture with the little trailer there, tell us more about your House of Dolls and this midnight horror show. Let's find out about this.
Okay. Yeah, so House of Dolls Midnight Horror Show is a horror show. I'm the host, just like you would see with Svengoolie, Elvira, Creepshow, stuff like that. My character is Master Dolly, and the Master Dolly has all of his creations that he has brought to life, and they love horror films. So they love sharing those horror films with their friends, and so you are invited into Master Dolly's home to watch the horror films with him and the dolls. And in between each film, there's a little comedic banter, terrible puns, what you would expect from a horror show host. Or a horror
That's
show.
awesome. So I'm guessing you were a big fan growing up of the horror shows, Svengoolie, Elvira, things like that. Was that kind of your inspiration? Because I love the backstory there, bringing the dolls to life, and they just happen to love horror.
Yeah, so I watched Elvira religiously, and of course Creepshow as well. And I'd never really thought of myself as a horror show host, but I had an idea, and it was when I got that idea, I thought of the House of Dolls. So let me tell you how that happened. So I also watch Svengoolie regularly. He's on MeTV every Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
And he was showing one of my favorite movies, House of Wax by Vincent Price. And as I'm watching this, I'm thinking, this is really cool. What if you could combine those wax figures and a horror show with a horror show host? And that's where I came up with the idea for House of Dolls Midnight Horror Show. So
that's awesome.
Master Dolly is this mad scientist who, as you see in the opening credits, is working on his creation, actually his second creation. Jane, it was his first one that he was working on, and finally got the combination right to bring her to life. So if you watch the show, Jane has a little bit of a stick up her ass. She's a party pooper because she's not finished all the way, so she's got a little bit of an attitude.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably a good segue into meeting the dolls. You sent me some photos, so maybe we can check out. Tell us a little bit about Charlotte.
All right. As I said, Charlotte is his first real creation that he brought to life, as well as his sidekick during the show. So they have, little banter back and forth in the beginning, at the end. She helps him out behind the scenes, helps write invitations to the show and sends them out, things like that. So she's very helpful.
Very kind of like your assistant, if you will.
Yes, Master Dolly's assistant, secretary.
Awesome. Next on the list, we have Queen Hathor.
Hathor, right.
My personal favorite.
I can only get her head in here. So on one of Master Dolly's trips to Egypt, him and Charlotte were looking for a new doll to bring to the house. And so they found out about the legend of Queen Hathor. Now, Hathor is the Egyptian goddess of love and sex. So what they did is they found the tomb of Queen Hathor, extracted some of her DNA, and then Master Dolly was able to take that DNA and make her into one of the dolls here at the House of Dolls.
Wow.
That costume there, I made myself. And I had somebody design that. I had a specific idea in mind for that costume, and the artist made this beautiful costume for her.
How do I order one of those costumes?
Yeah, I'm working on that. That's custom made.
Okay, sign me up for the first order because it's beautiful. I love it. It's so fun.
Yeah. That is awesome. Next on the list, we have Celeste. Tell us a little bit about Celeste. She looks a little top heavy.
You're right.
What's wrong with that, Otis?
Not a thing.
Perfect to me.
So Celeste was one of the ghosts in the mansion when Master Dolly took it over. So what he did is he took her spirit, and put it into one of the dolls. So you'll see her appear and disappear in some of the scenes in between the films.
So Celeste does whatever she wants.
Right, yeah, exactly.
She kind of looks more like the god of sex or goddess of sex.
Very voluptuous.
I bet she has a beautiful brain in there.
Just sit here and admire.
Oh, yeah. Sure, Jess.
All right, next on the list, we have Jane. You briefly mentioned Jane. That is her to our left, your right, I believe.
She's the soccer mom?
What's that?
She's the resentful plain Jane. She's mad because she got left behind.
Right, yeah, yes. So, and you'll notice that, like I said, she's got a really bitter attitude. But I like her because she adds that little bit of an edge. And hopefully people find her fun.
I love it.
Well, you got different. We got one more here, and we got different, characters and whatnot that you wouldn't think would mesh. And it kind of reminds me of the horror movie trope where you got the jock, you got the stoner, you got the really promiscuous girl, or the slut, whatever you want to call her. Next on the list, we kind of got this little we got this little mixture here too. And then we have Celine.
Yeah, so Celine is the witch. She so Charlotte is very into witchcraft and all these other things, and she wanted a witch companion. And so what happened was she helped conjure a spell to bring Celine to life as a witch. So Celine is very knowledgeable about witchcraft and spells and things like that. So she helps along with Master Dolly whenever he needs some sort of spell work done on a doll or on somebody else.
We need like a live action version of all of these characters. This is so many fun stories. You have the backstories. Yeah. I feel like we should be writing all of this, and I'll audition for Celine because she looks right up my alley.
I'm working on that.
How long did it take you to conjure up this? Because all of these backstories are really the foundation for the show and everything House of Dolls. I mean, you have a pretty, as Amy said, there's a lot of backstories going on here. And how long did it take to come up with something like this?
All right, so I'm going to let you in on a secret.
Nice.
I really can't say. I don't know. And I'll tell you why. But what I mean by that is that this is all information that's coming to me, and I don't question it. I just go like that. The Master Dolly outfit, I don't know where that came from. It just came to me. I said, I know this is what Master Dolly needs to look like. And I just started putting those pieces together. And so when I think of one of the characters, I think, well, first of all, I want to go to the classic horror monsters, right? So unfortunately, I couldn't find a picture of Princess Otoyo. She is in the last episode that I did, and she was introduced there. So she's a Japanese vampire princess. And so that's homage, obviously, to the vampire. And so, yeah, that's really, I just get the idea that, all right, this is the next character. And I just let it flow. It just comes to me, and yeah,
that's
can't explain it. That's all right.
No, I mean that's actually a great.
It's so fun to hear that's your process, because everybody has a different process, and that's a gift that you have, and it clearly works and you enjoy it, and it's something that you love and you're good at. And like I said, I would love to see you turn this into some type of series or some type of live action version of this and incorporate the dolls into that as well somehow. I don't know. You're making my mind spin over here. This is so fun.
Well, I have news for you. So a lot of us here in the Central Florida area are familiar with the Orlando Independent Filmmakers, and they have a new film, excuse me, they do film challenges a couple times a year. They have a new Roar film challenge coming up, and I have submitted a script to the film challenge, hoping that it gets accepted. And it's called The Doll Master, and it's about a little behind the scenes of how Master Dolly works, obviously horror film. It's going to be a lot of fun. So it'll be another short film. Eventually it will air in one of the episodes. So
awesome.
And then I also have an idea from that for a feature film as well. So
start somewhere. You're planting that seed.
Yes,
yeah, that is so awesome. Let me real quick, because I want to get in, Amy, you mentioned, this gift. And I want to get into the tarot card reading aspect, because you do that. You were at the Indie Horror Junkie Film Festival at MegaCon. You actually did a reading for Mrs. Dreads. So and that's pretty interesting to me. But let's say hello to some of our viewers here. We have Howard. Good evening, Junkies. I think when we were talking about promoting films and whatever indie horror project you have with the magazine, Indie Prop Makers, I responded in the chat, absolutely. That's what Wendy and Kevin are. They make props, so absolutely. And Tampa Bay Screams is watching, they said.
Hey.
And then, of course, our very faithful Molly Zombie has joined us. So let's get into how did you get into the whole I'm an idiot when it comes to like this whole thing about tarot cards and whatnot. I really don't know a lot. I'm ignorant in the true sense of the word.
It's a gift.
That's all right.
It's a gift. So talk to me like I guess I'm a 3-year-old and explain it very well.
Well, it started when I was young. I've always had weird things happen to me, visited by spirits, just a lot of very supernatural things. And I was also at a very early age, around the age of 6 years old, I started getting into stage magic and always into weird things like that. And my sister, older sister, had a deck of they used to sell at Spencer's Gifts. Remember Spencer's? A deck of just the major arcana cards. So it's just 22 cards. And so I kind of adopted that, and I was very fascinated by it. And then over the years, I just studied tarot a little bit more. And it wasn't until my late 20s or so that I took a tarot class, and it just really hit for me. And that's when I started doing readings professionally. So, it's a very unique form of divination with, 72 different cards that you use. And the setup very similar to a deck of playing cards. We have suited cards, which are called the minor arcana, and then the additional numbered cards, which are the major arcana. And you use these cards. Each one has a different meaning to tell or give somebody information about, a situation that they're looking for some information on. So, I've been doing that professionally for over 35 years.
And I've had the pleasure of sitting with you.
Yes.
We've done that before, and you were on to my stuff. So
good. That's good to hear that.
Yeah, it was a very pleasant reading, and it was. Can we talk about where people can request to have the readings? I know where you work, if you want to share that. Do you do them virtually? Does it have to be in person? How can people reach out to you for
the best way is through social media. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. I just started a TikTok page as well. So that's if you want a personal reading. I prefer that. I do read at the Mystic Henna and Psychic Shop at Islands of Adventure. It's located right on the border of the Lost Continent and Hogsmeade. A little tough to find, so you might run into one of the signs before you see the shop. And
I always find it.
yeah, and I really, what I like about reading there is that I'm meeting people from all over the world, and it's a very intimate connection with these people that I would not normally meet. The challenge is it's at the theme park. Usually have a very limited amount of time to get as much information as I can. But for me, it's more important about the message and connecting with the individual. So I also encourage them to, follow me on Instagram so that we can keep in touch. So, and I can do readings over the phone, in person, virtually with Skype, Facebook, video chat as well. So
if somebody is hosting an event or a party and they wanted to seek out somebody like you, you're available for those types of occasions?
Right. I do parties, events, things like that. Yes, definitely.
Awesome.
That kind of stuff fascinates me, mainly because I don't know a lot about it. So, and I'm very intrigued. Rick, did you have anything you wanted to add to the tarot card discussion? Because not only does he do tarot readings and he does the House of Dolls Midnight Horror Show, he's also an actor, and he's acted with our fellow junkie here, Miss Amy. Yeah. So is there anything you want to add to the tarot discussion? I mean, because we'll go all over the place.
Well, not really add to it, but I mean, that's always been something that I have been interested in. I've never really, I've had a couple people read me tarot cards, but I'm not quite sure what it all meant and everything from there. I would love to have a reading. I meant to have a reading from you there over at MegaCon, but we were a little busy, so I didn't get a chance to, but that is something that I would love to do. And we really appreciate you coming out there, and hopefully you'll join us again in February when we go back. But that is something that we definitely need to schedule some time, because I've got some stuff that has happened to me and everything, and I would love to find out more about. So that would be something. I just didn't want to do it with you there at MegaCon and catch the whole place on fire. So I figured we'll just do that another time where we can make it safe.
For us, Rick Danford.
I'm always here looking out for you guys.
I appreciate that, and thanks for having me. It meant a lot to be there with everybody and see everybody. And
Martigan, honey, you are a junkie, and you are always welcome wherever we go. Just
always welcome.
No need for an invitation. You just tell us you're coming, and you've got a seat with us.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
Now, all your social links and everything is scrolling down at the bottom, as you mentioned, your TikTok, your Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all of that good stuff. Your website is all down there for anybody listening or watching now or in the replay. There you go. I mentioned Amy, you and Martigan acted together in a film that I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of Cosmic Wave films. I talk with Angela a lot. Good people. We met them. They actually they won for their short Panic Attack and
Blood Pub.
Yes, I have. I believe this is it right there. There you go.
And that spooky hand you see.
Yeah.
Is the Reaper, played by our Martigan.
Nice.
That's great. I got these pictures all over the place. So let me see.
There we go.
We'll go back to there. That kind of has an Alice Cooper vibe to me.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, the makeup, I think, Alice Cooper vibe. Let me, man, I got pictures for days here. Oh, here we go. Here's
I know her.
A little fun on set, as you can see.
Yeah.
Having a good time.
A little fun until
The nerve of that guy.
Nice.
You
That
go and
was
laugh
so
and
funny
joke,
too,
and
wasn't it?
you go and laugh and joking with him, and it's all yeah. And then he slits your throat. What's up with
I know
that?
you guys are all just hanging out, smiling. Next thing you know,
Well, it was very choreographed because it was all about me turning and him grabbing my head back and timing it, and the camera was right here in front of my face, and so I had a mark, and but it was so fun. And as Martigan can tell you, we love filming with Cosmic Wave Films. Nick and Angela, it's always a professional set, and that was a fun project.
Yes.
Tell us about your experience on it. You sat through quite a bit
Yeah.
of special effects makeup.
Yeah, I really enjoyed just being there around everybody. It was fun being that Reaper character. What I'd really love to see, and hopefully Angela and Nick are watching, is the director's cut, because there was a great scene at the end where we're all dancing. So the Reaper's dancing, and we're all taking turns dancing. So I'd love to see more of that. But I get it, they had to keep it short for the film festival, and it was just having that makeup on just really transforms you. It's I don't know, it's hard to explain. You just really get into the
did it
character a lot
bother
more.
you? Did you have any problem being in any kind of makeup and things like that for an extended period of time, or did that not bother you? I know some actors are like, oh, I'm never doing this again, because they got to be in it. And you got people like Robert Englund, who's in all of that, 6 hours, almost a full day of work just putting his makeup on. How long did it take you to get into full character of the Reaper, and was it a pain in the ass, or you just didn't mind?
Yeah, so I think it took like 3 hours or so to do that makeup. So it was a pretty intensive session there. What is the most difficult for something like that is sitting that long, because you don't want to disrupt the flow of the makeup artist, but we all have to take breaks every so often. And I've been doing this kind of stuff, special effects makeup stuff, since I was a kid. I used to do my own life casts and
Nice.
home latex masks on my own. So I was always doing prosthetics for Halloween costumes and things like that. And so I'm used to that confinement,
Right.
Also used to be a scare actor for Halloween Horror Nights. And lots of times we had, like I was in The Walking Dead, and I had a full silicone mask that went all over my head. And it was just, it's very tight fitting. But it's something that I really enjoy, because it's about the character, getting into the character. So I really overlooked any sort of anything that would be uncomfortable about it.
Oh,
And there's
okay.
another character. Otis, do you have it, the other special effects makeup that he had on? And maybe you can tell us what project this was from, Martigan, if we can pull it up.
Let me break out the readers.
I hope so.
I was stalking a little bit on your socials, and I found this picture, and I loved it. So I wanted to ask you about it. Sorry, Otis.
Oh, no, you're fine. I'm trying to. I'm pretty sure I know.
So you did your own life cast? How difficult was that?
Yeah, well, me and my buddy used to hang out a lot, and we were really into obviously horror films.
That's not it.
We got this idea. We need to do our own makeup, and so we each did our own life cast. So I did his, and he did mine, and yeah, so that's what we did.
Wow. Because I've seen so many videos of them doing it and stuff like that, and then to hear that you did it yourself, that's wow.
It's okay, Otis.
Well, and you got to keep in mind too, this was before YouTube, so we're following books, and we had to go, like you have to find the specific things that you need, like the plaster bandages. There was no Michael's, there was no Hobby Lobby that you could go get this stuff, or Amazon for that matter. The Ultracol 30 that you use, for the cast, the alginate, we'd go places and people would look at us like, well, what do you kids want with this kind of stuff? You're going to the dental supply, and then you're asking for to quarts of the alginate or whatever you needed, and going to the pharmacy and asking for a couple boxes of plaster bandages. It's like, what are these kids up to? So we're always doing crazy stuff.
There it is.
Wow.
So what is this from?
This is from Halloween Horror Nights a few years back.
Wow.
I was a character. This was on the street of Hollywood. I don't remember the name of the street at the time, what we were called, but yeah, that was like a half mask. I believe that was custom made at Universal. One of the artists there did that. So
that's pretty awesome.
They have some incredible talent working
costume
behind the scenes there with Halloween Horror Nights and all the makeup they have to do every single day. And this is going to be their longest running year of Halloween Horror Nights.
Oh, really?
It starts at like the end of August and runs through November.
Wow.
Yes.
Beginning of November.
Wow. My heart goes out to all of those, my fellow scare actors. And that's really kind of why I pulled back from doing that, is because it's a very physically demanding. A lot of people don't make it through that entire run. There's a lot of very dedicated people that stick through it all the way.
Well, I'll be there, so I'll come find you.
It's probably about I don't know, maybe about 20 years ago, I thought about being a scare actor. And then I heard that exact same thing. They're like, man, if you got issues with your back and your neck, which I did, they're like, that may not be. I'm like, what are you talking about? You just got to put makeup on and a costume and go boo or whatever. How hard can it be? But they said it's a very physically
on your feet.
Yeah. It's a very, physically demanding, job. And that's pretty awesome. I'd still love to do it, but my old ass couldn't do it now.
Do it part-time, be a fire crew or something like that, where you just come in every, a couple times a week.
There you go.
Yeah. I'll be like the Walmart greeter. I'll greet everybody coming in.
So, Martigan, were there any inspirations when you were younger when it comes to like special makeup effects? Like, we've talked to some makeup effects people, and they've gone from everybody from like Tom Savini way back to Dick Pierce or whatever it is. Was there any like particular characters that you saw maybe on TV that you thought like, oh my God, I wish I could do that? Or just effects artists that you followed that kind of you tried to emulate?
Well, Tom Savini was gone. All right, so I didn't get too far past that. Of course, we look at I look at the other makeup artists from the past too, and Lon Chaney, everything that he did. So we would look at those and do what we could to mimic them as well. And it was really about when we watched American Werewolf in London, that was a game changer for us.
Me too.
That just really escalated the game. And what was great about the 80s, especially for horror films, is that it was practical effects. You didn't have any CGI, so you had to figure this stuff out on your own. And that's what we did. We just played around. If we were going to be in a gunfight or something like that and shoot each other, it was a blood pack with a firecracker underneath it. And you had a metal plate on your chest, and you light that firecracker,
Holy cow.
and boom, So and there's blood all over the place. It was great. Probably not the safest thing to do. Don't do that. Don't do this at home.
Yeah, right.
That's
so were you self-taught then? Did you schooling, no formal training or anything? Right. You just kind of messed around with it, watching how Tom Savini or somebody else did it, Lon Chaney, and then you just kind of put your own little spin on it. Is that how it works?
Right. Yeah, we'd watch the movies, and because my friend is also a magician, we kind of reverse engineer things, and we also there was a couple really good books that were available at the time that we really learned a lot from.
That's awesome.
Books.
What are you doing the convention scene? Are you going around? We mentioned you were at MegaCon. What's coming up for Martigan, and where can people see out in public?
Everywhere.
He's everywhere.
I run into Martigan everywhere.
So my goal is to get to as many of the horror cons in the area and just pass out invitations as Master Dolly and raise awareness to the show. So as much as this show is about me, I enjoy doing this show. It's just as much about my friends, because all the films that you see in the show are friends of mine. I reach out to my friends in this area and say, hey, I saw your horror film at the OIF, or I saw it here or there. Would you like to have it on my show? And there's so many talented filmmakers and actors and actresses, writers, directors here. And having an opportunity to share this platform with them, to get them some exposure and hopefully kick off their career in some capacity, or boost it a little bit. That's what it's about to me. This is about networking, bringing people together, and growing this horror community within the Florida area. And I'm hoping, and hopefully soon we'll go beyond that. You know, I need to get a certain number of episodes in my pocket before I can start taking it and putting it on a network. So.
Well, I know you stand behind every word of what you just said, because I see you everywhere. You're at every filmmakers event, every convention in town, and you're such a big advocate and voice, and just a big supporter of independent filmmaking in Central Florida. And that's one of the many things that I love about you. But you show up for everybody, and it's so fun to watch your journey with the show and with your acting. And I just hope to see you continue down this path, because you have something very unique that you're developing here. And I think that there's something to it. So keep it going.
Thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate the feedback. And of course, you know, you have my support as well. So I just love what you guys are doing.
We're just a bunch of junkies.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of described when you were talking about networking, and when you described Indie Horror Junkie and giving these filmmakers, you know, exposure. I mean, and that is really kind of what it's all about. I mean, I know that feeling, because on a more serious note, I do a mental health podcast. And if I was able to touch somebody or make them, you know, show them something through my story, just one person, I ain't trying to change the world. I'm just one man. But I feel that too. And it's the same way with this. And I think that's awesome. You had, you know, the Elviras and the Svengulis that were playing more, you know, they may have been, you know, your B movies or, you know, lower budget at the time, but you're really showing this, you know, aiming the spotlight on indie horror filmmakers. And I think that is absolutely awesome. And then to have the dolls involved, you know, in your breaks and things like that, that's absolutely awesome. House of Dolls Midnight Horror Show. .com. Get over there, and you can get some pretty cool shirts too. You're actually sporting one right now.
I gotta get one.
I gotta get one as well, and then we can people can get one over there at the .com, can't they?
Right. You can order them right online.
Awesome.
And when does your show air? Is it Tuesday nights? Is it every week? What is the schedule? Hey, Terry.
Well, at this point, there's really no set schedule. I'm kind of at the mercy of the films that I have available to me. I've kind of been slacking a little bit. You know, I do this. This is a passion project, so I fit it in when I can. And I've got another episode that I'm working on, which I'll be introducing a new character who happens to be with me here tonight.
Oh,
come on.
So if you're interested, I can introduce you to the new character.
Absolutely. Another Indie Horror Junkie exclusive. Let's rock and roll. I'm ready.
Let me slide her in over here.
All right.
Ooh.
What in the world?
Is that my ex?
Can you see her?
Sorry.
See if I can get Queen Hathor out of the way. Let me move the computer a little bit.
Oh wow.
There she is.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
that's
she got the
Lydia.
Daisy Dukes going on there.
Right,
Daisy
right. Yeah.
Dukes.
Yeah.
You said Leah?
Lydia.
Lydia.
She's a lycanthrope, right?
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
so she's my hat tip to the werewolf.
You're making Rick happy.
Yeah,
Yes,
you are.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
That
cool.
is
that's her. So
awesome,
this is
man.
a Indie Horror Junkie exclusive. So she'll appear in an upcoming episode of House of Dolls, most likely the next one. I got
So tell us her backstory.
Yeah,
What's
what's
her
her
backstory?
backstory?
Pardon me?
What's her backstory?
Yeah, so this is really where when Master Dolly was out in the back of his compound, I guess you could say, and he heard a wolf, and this is a female wolf that came up to him, and he decided that this was her spirit, her entity was a connection. So he decided that he was going to call on the skills of Celine to extract the essence of this wolf and put it into the doll Lydia.
So you got the witch involved.
Yes. So there was a little bit
Yeah.
of conjuring that had to happen with the wolf. The wolf was not harmed in this experiment.
How to explain Jane? What does she think about it?
Yeah, Jane don't like that shit at all.
Yeah,
She's getting a little
she probably
side eye
would
back
not be
there. Look at
happy
that.
with this. Another doll where she gets set on the back burner and ignored.
She's in timeout.
We're gonna have to change her name from Jane to Karen soon, I think.
Oh, there it is.
Right.
Very cool. I love all the different personalities and the different backstories and stuff, and especially how you're trying to mesh them all together into one big happy haunted house.
We love it here, and we love horror films, and that's what it's about. You know, we all enjoy the horror films just as much as our viewers do.
Well,
And
Martigan,
then-
whenever you know that you're going to be broadcasting your next show, please let us know and tag us in it on our socials on Indie Horror Junkie so that we can repost it and share it because we want to get some eyes and attention on this project.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Anything that you have to promote, just tag us and we'll send it out.
And you can
And
also,
if there's anybody,
oh, go ahead, Martigan.
if there's any filmmakers out there that would love to have their film on the House of Dolls Midnight Horror Show, please contact me. You can do that through the website, me personally, whatever works.
Mhm.
Now, what kind of films are you looking for? Shorts, features, all of the above?
All of the above, yeah, whatever there is. Yeah, right now I'm just relying on the film community here that has put together the short films. Every once in a while, I get somebody that has something that's like 20 minutes long or so. So able to stretch out that time a little bit. Yeah.
We'll have to help you out with that.
Oh, yeah,
All
I'm
right,
sure.
thanks. Yeah.
And
That'd be
your
great.
one way to keep up with your show, I'm assuming it is going to be on your YouTube channel, is to get over there, subscribe, and hit the little bell so you're notified.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
another way to do it. What was your last show that you did? Tell us about that.
So
What can
that
people
was-
expect if they're new viewers? Tell us a little bit about the last show. What was the movie, by the way?
Well, there's 4 different films, and honestly, I don't know what they are off the top of my head.
Okay.
I believe I had 2 vampire films. One was Beautiful Monsters, and that was written and directed by my friend Dave Powers. And
Another Central Florida filmmaker.
right. And Wes, I'm sorry, his last name escapes me, but that was also another vampire film called Blood at Midnight or something like that. Sorry, caught me off guard here. But
No worries.
because I was introducing the new vampire character, Princess Otoyo, I wanted to have some vampire themed films. So that's what I was able to do.
Well, the good news is that everybody can hop on your YouTube channel and you have a log of your previous shows. So anybody can go and watch that and check out those vampire movies.
Right. Yeah. And I also have some mini episodes which are just one little short film. And those I did back in October to celebrate Halloween. So on Halloween, I released a couple mini episodes as well.
You know, we love that.
All right, I have a question for you, and I don't want to cause any dissension there in the household, even though I know Jane's going to be pissed off about everything anyway. But just you, what is your favorite subgenre? Is it vampires, werewolves? I know you talked about American Werewolf in London, but what is your favorite subgenre?
Yeah, vampires. You know, when I was a kid, I was always, for Halloween, I was a vampire.
I don't know. Are we like related? For like 6 years, I dressed up as Dracula. My mom had a friend who even made the cape with the big, you know. Oh yeah, every year.
Yep, me too. Yeah, and I would never go out trick or treating especially when I was older, like from 10, you know, on up. I never went trick or treating. What I did is pass out the candy. So I'd always set up the front of the house, you know, with a graveyard or something like that, and
I love that.
You know, pass out the candy and as Dracula usually.
That's awesome.
Do you still do that?
I do not, but yeah, I moved down here to Orlando in 2014 and just been hustling ever since. So it's hard to do that. But I miss it. It's always a lot of fun. And you know what's weird is that
handing out the candy Halloween with all those spooky setups outside in the front yard.
Yeah. There's really not a lot of trick-or-treaters anymore. It seems to be
sad.
I'd say. So it's unfortunate.
It really is, because back in my day, I mean, they were all over the place. I mean, mobs of kids and stuff like that. And it was a huge thing to whereas I always never understood why Halloween was never an official holiday. I mean, you've got Flag Day and every other miscellaneous crap. And then here you got Halloween, where you've got places like Spirit Halloween that open up every year around that time, and everybody is stocking Halloween stuff around Halloween, yet it's not a holiday. How is that possible?
Yeah, I agree. It's a national holiday, Halloween.
Yep. And when you were talking earlier about like Svengoolie and Elvira and some of the different horror hosts and hostesses and stuff, back when I was a kid, we used to have this show that was filmed here locally called Creature Feature. And I used to love that. Every Saturday morning, they used to have the host. His name was Dr. Paul Bearer. And he would come on and he would have different guests or whatever. They would show some of the old B-movie horror movies. And it was so cool. One of my earliest film festivals, my Halloween Horror Picture Show, we actually had Dr. Paul Bearer II that actually came out and was part of our festival and stuff. But yeah, such a great character.
Very cool.
And Martigan, that was Terry that just hopped on with Harlow's Haunt. He said to make sure that you share your show information on the Harlow's page too, so we can promote it there as well.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Terry. Appreciate it.
Definitely.
You're plugged in with the family now, so we got to get you out there.
That's right.
Thank you. That means a lot.
So you're a vampire guy. I am too, as I mentioned. Who's your favorite Dracula or favorite vampire movie?
Ooh.
All right, so I'd have to say Christopher Lee.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that. I got Bella tattooed on my hand, I'm a Bella guy.
Is that your favorite too, Otis?
What's that?
Is that your favorite too?
Bella?
No, this is Bella Lugosi.
Mine's Bella. His is Christopher Lee, which I think Christopher Lee did a great job
he did.
You know, as Dracula. But
now, I do like the Coppola version of Dracula, and you see a lot of like references to the Christopher Lee Dracula, and I love that film. It's a great film, but I don't know, something about Christopher Lee, just that time period, that was just a real shift in the image of the vampire.
And the Hammer movies were always great too.
What's that?
The Hammer movies were always great as well.
Oh my God!
Yes.
Yes. The Hammer series.
Yes.
Series.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. I just found out about that series like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I watch it all the way through every Halloween. It's just amazing.
And a cool little story here. You were just mentioning the Coppola version of Dracula. Where Gary Oldman, who was one of my all-time favorite actors in almost anything, he played Dracula. I remember hearing an interview with him where he said that he took that role just because there was one line in the script that he absolutely wanted to read. So because of that one line where he says, "I've crossed oceans of time to find you," just that one line, he said, why he took that role. That's crazy.
Interesting.
Wow. That line must have really meant something.
It struck something to him, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a good one too.
Yeah, Terry agrees. He was just about to say Oldman as well. Many great ones, absolutely. So what is coming up for Martigan? What can people expect? I know I kind of hit on this a little bit, but as we wind down, everybody can see all of your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikToks and tweets and X. YouTube, all that good stuff. I can't keep up with.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
What's coming up for you? What's next on the plate for Martigan?
Well, I'm still working on the show. I need to get off my butt, get motivated here, get some more episodes out. As I said, I'm working on the short film. Once I know that the script is accepted, I should know. I'm not sure when that is. Hopefully within the next week or so. All ready to shoot that. Get that in the can, and then continue to show up at the horror cons and promote the show.
Awesome.
Yeah, I hope to see you at Spooky so I can give you a big old hug and help you pass out some flyers for the show. So send me a message if you make it out there. We'll meet up.
Definitely.
So pretty much any horror-related convention or gathering, you're going to see Martigan. As Amy said, you're every damn where. So
he's at film festivals.
Festivals. Catch him. You'll catch him.
Events.
I love it.
Yep.
I love it.
That's awesome.
The
what's that? I'm sorry.
I love supporting the community. It's just, everybody knows each other, everybody supports each other.
We're so lucky, right, that we have such a dense community here in Central Florida for filmmaking. We're very, very fortunate.
Yeah. Agreed. If that were not going on, you would not see this. I would not be here today.
It allows us to be ourselves and be creative and have a community to share it with. It's a beautiful thing, and this is why we're here. We all need it. It's what we love. It's what we enjoy.
Absolutely. Martigan, I want to thank you for taking some time with us and talking some House of Dolls. Tell all the ladies except Jane, because I kind of already have a disdain for Jane. Tell all the ladies good night. Thank you for coming on again. All of your links, everything, House of Dolls, horrorshow.com. Get you a fancy little t-shirt. I'm gonna have to give me one of them.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the channel, get notified of the next show coming up. You're a busy man, so thanks for taking your time tonight, Martigan.
We appreciate it, Martigan.
And you can hang out backstage and we'll say hi to you after the show.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
See you in a bit.
All right. We'll talk to you in a few, Martigan. Great show. As always, man. Lots of laughs, good discussion, good crowd. Thank you, Lisa, Molly, Terry is in the chat. Howard, Tampa Bay Screams joined us, and who knows how many other people that just decided they didn't want to chat tonight, but that's okay. If you are watching on the replay on our YouTube channel, you can take and, thank you. I don't know what I was going to say, but there's all of our info down there. And again, another great show. Don't forget the new magazine, the new issue, not new magazine, new issue coming out the 13th of May.
Yep.
Got a lot of cool stuff coming up. A lot of fun stuff. Looking forward to it. I want to thank everyone for joining us. Thank you, Amy. A pleasure as always, of course, Mr. Roddy, Ricky D. And as they say in the biz,
we'll see you next Wednesday.